stream. Hello, Jinxie. Very sneak. Yeah, I kept a little close there. Here. Yay. Yeah, it seems like a lot of people from I'm not sure about you, but a lot of people in Europe want to try to pop up, but it's like midnight there. So can't do too much about it though. I actually got off work a half hour ago and then just ran home quick. Anyways, I wanted this done Friday, but I didn't want to put it out like late Friday, so I want to try to get this done today. Which really at this point is just adding a bunch more ice and then whatever animation I need to do for him. Where else are we going to need some ice on him though? Definitely on... Well, I kind of want to do some more of this stuff, like the filler. Because I have... pick a time to stick with. Let's stick with 6. Because I want to get the feel down for it. I might not need it in some places if I get the overall chill factor down. Some of these I don't even know if they're going to be visible. Like, is that even going to be... Oh, it is visible. Okay. Barely, but... Barely is still visible. Oh, and I don't remember all the bones I grabbed. This one I think is shoulder... No, that's elbow. Which means I have to go to the actual arms. That's right arm, elbow. And am I locking these to... All right. You make them all cold and stuff. I thought actually adding ice like this would be more difficult than it actually ended up being. Like, I thought it was going to be like, oh, you're going to have to do this and this, and ends up being that no, you just kind of throw ice everywhere and then call it good. I still wish I could do something to cover him, but I'm just gonna have to deal with what I can deal with. Oops. Pops up a little bit, but that's just can be considered snow. This one, what the hell part of his arm is this one on? No. One of these. I see being on that. I don't think I play ahead of the other one either. Okay, does that work? Yeah, it does. I had more space to work with here, but as soon as I open up Rathalos, he just explodes into shitloads of bones. I thought actually having this invisibility thing gonna get close would be annoying, but actually it's nice. I can see right through your model. Looks pretty good. This is going to be thigh, legs, right leg, thigh. Oh. Putting out a couple to that one. Let me go and do the animating in a sec here, just so I need to know what I'm working with. I think I have a worry that if I do too much motion, that it's going to be hard to actually make the ice work. I think if I just kind of keep it at this level of detail, like fairly evenly spaced in some of the bits, but then at these little crevices add a bunch more. I'm thinking that it'll be fine. And Blur, my weekend was actually really good. It was Labor Day weekend here, so we had Monday off. But went to the Minnesota State Fair, and there's 250,000 people there, so it was busy. Ate a lot of really bad food. Well, good food, but bad for you. Yesterday didn't do crap. Yeah, we ate a lot of food. Like, a waffle sandwich, it's like a taco but with a waffle instead, and it just had a bunch of turkey and stuff in there. That was really good. A wild rice and beef burger. So it's beef and wild rice mushed together into a patty and cooked. Wild rice is a thing in Minnesota, and it's really, really good. What else did we eat? We ate Reuben bites, which is like little deep fried Reuben balls. Went to the Dairy Room, which is like a fresh milk stand place, and got a hot apple and caramel malt, and that was absolutely delicious. One of the best things that I got there. Oh, well, thanks, Jinxie. Appreciate it. I know I ate more than that. Well, we stole food from each other quite a bit too. Some cheese curds, because they have really good cheese curds there. Some cookies, because there's Sweet Martha's cookies that are there. So it's just a mix of everything. But yeah, I think I'm gonna figure out his animation here, and then so I know what I'm working with here. Oh, new client. The money is good.
I hate the...
For some reason, it looks like their feet are moving. No, this one and this one. They need to be locked in place, like right wherever they are. Which I'm gonna say right there.
I hate the cold.
Yes. Actually, you know what? No. His feet can move a little bit. We'll play at the most of it.
I hate
Oh,
the
actually,
cold.
no, it'll be fine, actually, because I'm going to give a little bit of random motion to the camera. I can do that now and just have a good idea on it. It's just that if you have no camera movement and no model movement, every single pixel that's not moving is unchanging on the screen. It leaves it feeling really weird. I think I just do rotation. No. I'm going to do a little bit of both. Okay, I'm going to do a teeny bit of position. And then a good bit of jitter. Perfect.
I hate.
Hello.
Hello.
He's going crazy.
I'd be going crazy too if I had that much ice hanging off me.
Give it a couple months. Oh, actually, how does this work? I need to make sure that I'm not losing the base. Okay.
Oh.
Oh.
I hate the cold.
Not in. Wait, no, this can do it. Started to get more in, but I feel like I'm just gonna collapse the motion here.
I hate the cold.
No, that's pretty good.
So you're just gonna add in the snow effect at the end?
Well, it already exists, but for some reason the particle's like stupid heavy on processing, so I don't want to have it running all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I just turned it off for now. Damn it.
This is a much better alternative to food.
Whiskey?
Mm-hmm. Especially on the empty stomach I'm currently sporting.
Oh.
I ate a late lunch just so I didn't have to worry about it because I had to work a half hour extra because I forgot with the holiday I have to work an extra hour this week. So.
I came to find out that I'm salary.
Aha. That's not good.
Uh-oh. But they did say they'd give me time off for Cider Fest.
I mean, I'm salary too, but they're really big on not working above my hours.
No, he was just like, he didn't tell me when to go home. He's like, you can go home now if you want. I'm like, finish this up. My hands are all cut to shit. I'm so happy.
That your hands are cut to shit?
I like working with my hands.
Oh.
I don't like lifting. I like more the artisan kind of working with your hands. But that's why I do electronics. I consider it an art. A very nerdy art.
There's like some of those
I just started my first
bad
day.
lines that pop up here.
I enjoy it more than just sitting around all day, like this guy did today. You were here when I left. You were here when I got back. As far as you were probably just sitting here all day.
Yep, totally.
Being a bum.
Nope,
Just giving it look like you.
I went to work.
What are you talking about?
I did my job today. And then I gotta do it tomorrow.
What?
And the day after. And then I'm done for the week.
What? I mean, you got to do this more than once every couple months. It's a job thing.
There we go, filled in the gap there.
The cool thing about this job is he told me anything I need, just tell him and he'll order it. So I can customize my workbench. It was just me and one other guy all day. Me and the guy training me. Nobody else in the building. Which is pretty much what I expected. His secretary only works at the place every other day. And today wasn't one of those days. So there's an entire business with just me and one other guy most of the time.
Oh.
There we go, that's perfect. It's a little fast. Oh, okay, well I cannot touch it. The camera's just it's gonna collapse if I put that in and all. Oh yeah. I wonder if... Oh, dude. Yep. Well, no, it doesn't matter, but because every one of those dots is a saved data point. So so it's saying that from this point to this point in the file, that's where it's saving. It doesn't save, it can't save curves, it's not saving equations, it's saving A to B to C to D all the way across. And every one of these is one of those data points. And so some of these you can see, like here, there's no data points past a point because it's just saying that's it. It just goes on forever or whatever to continue on. So all these little curvatures are just lots of little straight lines. Kind of like how 3D models work. A curved surface is just lots of vertices with corners. But a lot of these ones right here are working in values that I'm guessing in a 32-bit program is using too many float values to store that number or something, to where here I took the position and scrunched it down so much that if I do anything to it, all those floats collapse and it doesn't know, none of the information gets stored.
So is the video telling you you're done working on it?
No, I don't even animated him yet. So position is weird to where it starts doing that with motion, where rotation is always based on a 360-degree arc, so you can have three. It's never going to be, or it's going to be like a fraction of 360, but this could be a fraction of 50,000 or something, and these decimals start getting too small.
Is it because you have too much stuff loaded?
No, it's just because these. It's saying that this value is 0.000001, and this is 0.00000012, and it's too small of a number to where it's not able to store that small of a number anymore.
Yeah.
So it's okay right now, but if I touch it at all, like any part of this, or like that one's fine, but if I change the rotation in any way, it collapses the whole thing. So I can't actually touch it anymore. That's one of the reasons I hate modifying positions on stuff unless I do it late in the game. So like if you do a change of, let's say, his jaw. If I go to change his position, there's a certain amount I can move it. I wonder if I might be able to do it better with a... Let's try neck. Oh, that's on a rig right now. So, but there's a certain amount that a model needs to move before it will even show that it's moving. So the jaw looks like it's going to react right away, but what you can do instead is, with these samples showing, if you do fall offs, it has to calculate how to do the rounding with the little balls, the markers. But if you do linear, it doesn't need to. It's always just from one point to another point with single points. So you don't have to do very, very, very small motions. You could do that type of motion, A to B, and then you go through afterwards and like smooth it or round it. Smooth will add a point at every point and then adjust it from there. But if you try adding it without or rounded, it won't work because it'll just be like, I don't. Yeah, it's actually, I will do that here. I had to be on rounding, that's why. So you can see how the points are popping up. But I can move it like a little bit. It's not actually doing anything. It just suddenly pops. It's like, oh, finally I hit a number I can actually move for it. Because it's not saying moving it to this point. It's trying to calculate all these in-between ones, but it's like, that's too small of a number. I don't know what to do until you start moving it enough to where it starts getting large enough numbers to fill in the gap. So sometimes when I do those motions, I'll do it like this, flatten it, so it's just A to B, and then when I'm done, I will smooth those edges so that I'm controlling where those frames are or those little balls are and not the engine. I think if SFM was a 64-bit program, it'd be easier. But I think I can actually open up. I didn't think they were compressed files. Apparently they are. There is... That one's the compressed one as well. The SMDs, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, so this is what it would look like. This is how SFM saves all the files. So it only goes up to a float value, it looks like, of 6 decimal places. I don't know if that's a... No, 32-bit's got a lot longer than that. Does SFM have double? Curious. No, it doesn't. That's probably why it's an issue. Float only has so many. Double would increase the amount of potential decimals, but it doesn't support it. That's weird. Okay, whatever. Yes, that's yeah, it's like the Matrix. I go with that. But yeah, so. But I've had it where I'm animating a model and then I made it look real good. Then I changed something and suddenly part of the motion goes away. And it's because the motion of the change of its position collapsed, and it was annoying. So I'm super careful now out of a habit because of that. Okay, I need to. Can I still smooth it? Yeah, I can smooth it. Because that's adding, not trying to manipulate. I just want to smooth that out a bit more. Some of the corners for that motion were strong.
So, quick question. Pizza, egg rolls, chicken, or burgers?
Yes.
Oh, I'll go make it. That's one of them.
Egg rolls. I think that sounds better.
Alright, well, let's get those in before you finish your stream.
Not too worried. I had a late lunch because I knew I would be home late. Oof. I need to work on that knee. It looks like a big square coming out of it. Yep. That knee is not attached. Actually, all those aren't attached right. Did something go wrong? Everything else attached fine. That must not have been attached. Oh, his leg over there is not attached either. I'm just gonna go like the other one. I'm saying 6 is the default. So something got weird.
I'm so nervous about going to my job today that my body forgot to sleep last night. I think I got 4.5 broken hours.
There it goes. I think that was the issue. Yeah, it just wasn't play-headed. I went to bed at like 1:20.
Yeah. I kept waking up. It's part of it. I laid down for a good solid hour before I fell asleep, and then I kept waking up.
I hate the cold.
Clock.
I hate the cold.
Like, I didn't oversleep, did I? I didn't oversleep, did I?
I hate.
You don't want to be late on your first day. And then the guy who I got there, I ended up getting there like 20 minutes early, and the guy who let me in, he got there late. So I just kind of sat out by my car for a while.
I hate. I hate the cold.
I have.
No, I'm not one to go to bed early unless I drink a lot of alcohol. This isn't a lot.
Empty stomach.
It's true. My stomach's over here growling. There's some leftover eggs and sausage in there. Oh my god. The rest of season 9 leaked. Did it leak in Dutch or English? Because I've been aware of the Dutch leak for a while now.
Hello, Shadow.
I hate the cold.
I even watched an episode in Dutch and it was interesting.
I hate the cold.
Not the season finale, but yeah. Oh, it leaked in English. Okay, well that's it then. The whole show's out.
You'd be like, I'll be back in a minute. Or 4 hours.
I'll watch it later today, and you'll watch it 4 years from now, and because you never want it to end. Because if you don't finish watching it, it'll never end. Spoilers have always been a problem, man.
I hate the
Ever since the Dutch release, because some people actually speak that language and know how it ended.
I hate the cold.
Okay, I think I know what I did wrong with the mouth here. Cold is it, or I hate the cold. Cold. He's not going to go as far back with his mouth as I made him go back.
I don't think anybody has to hack into DHX to get leaked episodes. I think Hasbro hands it out to everybody, to people who don't really give a shit when they release it. I don't think Hasbro respects their own properties very well. As long as they get paid, they don't care.
Well, if you're trying to do worldwide playing, who has authority over who plays before other people?
Should be Hasbro.
Yeah.
But they don't care.
What if they already told them that they're going to be playing it because on their network they can? Is the English side required to be ahead of everybody else?
They did crack down on some of the people they gave it to. Because they were saying, oh, we're going to release it now, and they were very like, no, you're not allowed to release it yet. We gave it to you, and you're releasing it on this date. And they're like, oh. So, I don't think Hasbro pays it. I think they sign things, and the people they sign things with just release it anyways early because they want the subscriptions, and then they can get it and stuff like that if they push it.
Hate the cold. The cold.
What the Dutch people did.
But usually there's stuff written into the contract that states that if they do, there'll be some kind of a fine or not whatnot. So if they didn't, then that's Hasbro being stupid, and that's not anybody else's
A lot of
fault.
leaks end up coming out of China. You can find Chinese companies.
Cold. Hate the cold. The cold. 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 Cold.
Minnesota's always cold.
The cold. Cold. The cold.
I'm told the weather here goes from cold to... If you stay outside for 5 minutes, you're probably already dead.
No, it's you don't have skin showing on the cold days. If there's any wind, it's just about make sure it's covered in some way, even if it's something thin, just like a whatever. That's why I usually let my hair grow out, because then I'm good to about here, and then
The rest of your face just freezes off in the winter, and you regrow it in the summer.
well, that's why also every morning I put lotion on my forehead and here, because otherwise that's the spots that's going to be exposed. So it's just gonna, if it's already dry, I'll take a shower, and just after getting out of it, within about 10 minutes, I can feel the skin start pulling in on itself because it's just so fucking dry. The new place should be so bad because again, it has it has hydration stuff, whatever, humidifier built in, but but like here when it's like 20% humidity, yeah, it just yanks it out again. Well, in scope, it depends on if it's a wet or if it's a dry cold. A wet cold, it can be like 20 degrees, and it doesn't matter what you wear; it'll eat right through everything. Wet colds are the worst. Up here, we just get dry colds, so it can be -20, -30. But as long as you are covered, you have a lot of time before it starts eating through your clothing. So you can go outside in the wind and still even be fine as long as your face is covered. And breathe through your nose and a lot of that stuff. But so -20, -30 is not that bad. The thing that just sucks is like starting your car. It's that some of those days are like, yeah, it's gonna be so cold that you might want to start your car the night before you go to sleep, so that it's not so frozen through the block in the morning.
Last time I was here for like a weekend during like when I was cold in the winter here, and I was sick on and off for like 3
Yeah, but you
months
came in, it
after.
was like 15, 20 degrees.
It was in the negatives when I was here.
I don't think it was very much in the negatives if it
It was
was.
like -20. You had that huge like
No, but it was, I don't think it
winter
was,
vortex.
it might have been in the colder end, but then yeah, we also say don't breathe through your mouth. So as a joke, you go and breathe it heavily through your mouth and then regretted it.
I ended up with the flu, followed by pneumonia, followed by bronchitis. I was sick for like a solid 2 months.
And whose fault is that?
Minnesota's.
See, there's these bugs flying around that are called fuck you overs, and you just breathed one in.
I breathed in too much Minnesotan air. It nearly killed me.
Cold. I hate the cold. I hate the cold.
I don't think that's gonna work.
I hate the cold.
Actually,
I
that might
hate
work.
the cold.
I'm just trying to get that shape that I want, and I don't know if I'm.
Cold. The cold. Cold.
I think if I round this out a bit more.
Cold.
So you get a checkbook so I can get
The
my
cold.
car to the shop.
I hate the cold. I hate the cold. I hate the cold. cold. I hate the cold. I hate the cold. Cold. Hate the cold. Hate the cold. The cold.
You got a mechanical hard drive?
I have all 3 types of hard drives in my computer.
I can hear the mechanical one.
This SFM is one of the few things I have still running on mechanical. All my other games are running on the M.2 and the OS is running on an SSD.
I have this feeling the sound of the mechanical hard drive is going to become nostalgic by the time within 20 years. My next computer probably won't.
Like, it's gonna have a what?
My next computer that I build probably won't have a mechanical hard drive.
Oh no, mechanical hard drives are great.
Well, they store lots of stuff for cheap.
Yeah, that's why I still need to do that. Like SFM, if I were to put this on my M.2, it filled my whole M.2.
Yeah.
I don't want to. My SFM alone, I thought, is like in the 800 gig range. So
yeah, solid states are becoming super cheap now.
yeah, but still.
A lot cheaper than
But I read a low spin, like a 5400, like Western Digital Green hard drive is still super cheap. You can get 3 or 4 terabytes for like cheap. I'd rather do that for dumping. I don't want to. This is running on a. Is this 7200 RPM? Whatever the Western Digital Blacks are. But I have been thinking about doing that, getting a couple SSDs, and try doing like a RAID 5 with them. But
I remember when 1 terabyte was a lot of space. I remember when a 1 terabyte hard drive came out, I was like, there's no way anybody could ever fill that up.
I hate
That's a ridiculous amount of space.
I
And
like
now-
Lagania too, so yes.
And now I got
Lagania's
like
awesome.
2.5
I hate the
terabytes
cold.
of data on my computer. I almost fill my hard drive.
Yeah, Scope. I have I think is it a 7? I can't remember the numbers. It's a Samsung one. Would it even show it on here?
You know how big my very first hard drive was? 500 megabytes of space.
480 G. No, oh, there it is. So it's a 970 Evo, and I love that thing. It's for gaming. It's stupid nice. When I was playing, what was it called? Dragon Quest. They had the loading screens where they had tips to read. And I was always able to read 3 to 4 words before it loaded up what I needed. So I never had these big like paragraph things because the loading times are supposed to take forever, and I never got to read any of them. I've been playing Ni no Kuni right now, and that one, the load screens for anywhere to anywhere is about 1 second. And that is great for a game where you're teleporting a lot, so you're not having to get stuck in load screens. It's so nice.
It's a nice thing about solid states is they cut down load times between.
Mm-hmm.
They don't change like the end game. Once you're actually in the game, it doesn't change how well it plays. But the whole loading into the game, it makes it a lot faster.
If it changes anything during the game, then that's a bad development to the game because it's kind of having a hard drive slow down your performance while playing.
It should all be all stored in the RAM.
That should be in RAM or something. But really, the M.2s are fast enough that you could run it all off page file if you really wanted. So, I mean, RAM I think is still quicker, but probably not as much difference now. Because I think like an SSD was 5 times faster than a hard drive, and an M.2 is like 3 to 4 or even more faster than an SSD.
I mean, all an SSD is essentially a really large amount of RAM.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it's still connected by a cord. An M.2 is essentially a RAM stick that plugs directly into the motherboard. So, and it's right on the PCI Express. So it's got super fast speed. It has a heatsink built into it on mine because they get hot.
I mean, SATA is pretty fast.
Have you ever seen the speeds of an M.2 is?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so let's see.
Isn't the top speed of a SATA cable like 6 terabytes though?
So on average, a write speed. So I was thinking about 650 to 700 megabytes per second. megabytes per second. Yeah, I just want to make sure it wasn't megabits for an SSD, and a M.2 can range for the PCI slot up to 2 gigabytes per second.
So yeah, SATA 3 is 6 gigabytes per second. PCI.
Yeah, it was giga. This you got to remember this is little b.
Yeah.
That's bits. Yeah. So it's 750 megabytes.
So it's about.
But it also
2.5 times faster.
And this depends on what slot you're plugged into and the infrastructure that you have. But normally, yeah, I was thinking about getting a second one because they're awesome. The problem is that so I have a 970 Evo 1 terabyte. They're $170 for a stick. So they're on the pricier end for.
Oh, that's your RAM.
No, this is your hard drive.
What? Why does it look like RAM?
Because it's RAM. It is RAM. It's just it's not random access though. It's permanent access. So that's PAM. No. So I was originally going to put my operating system on it, but I decided to put it on my SSD instead because I didn't have Windows 10 installed at the time, and then there's difficulties with getting it to work. Kyle had this huge headache to get it to. Cause it's like, I don't see this. What is this? And so I put it on my SSD, which it still boots fast. I mean, it would change my boot time from like 5 seconds to 4 seconds. It's not going to change too much on that end. But it's right now just all my Steam games. Everything goes in the M.2, and they're so nice.
Big is your M.2?
1 terabyte.
Okay.
I mean, all I have on there is games, and I'm sitting at half of it used.
I remember when playing that Mass Effect game. My solid state made the load times for my video games ridiculous. And you guys were like already playing the game by the time I actually got in. So I actually ended up getting a flash drive and installing the game onto that and running it through my USB 3. Which actually was about the same as having a solid state hard drive. I think it was only 512 gigabyte stick. I remember when I got my very first flash drive, it was 256 megabytes, and I thought that was crazy huge too at the time, because before I had a flash drive for school, we used floppy disks. And just saying that word probably makes me very old sounding to a lot of people watching. But
no, I don't have any more. My last case had one on there.
Cassette.
3.5 or 3.5.
3.5 inch floppy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had one on my last 2 computers.
Yeah, no. My dad worked for IBM, so we got stuff early, and yeah, I was actually we didn't even have the 5.25 inch floppies for a while. We had these cartridges, so if we wanted to play a certain game, the computer was built with 2 cartridge slots, and we'd take this cartridge. It felt like it felt like the memory card on the N64, and you would just jam it into there to play the game. So it was an old IBM. It was all DOS based, and there was no GUI at all. Yeah, I don't even think. Yeah, that computer didn't have a hard drive. That was before hard drives were around. So yeah, that was that. But that was like top of the line computer at the time. Jumperman and Alley Cat, great games.
I remember. The only time I used 5.25 inch floppies was there was one computer in the school library when I was in grade school. They used the 5.25 inch floppies. And they played a couple games like, I think it was like Hubert or something. It was like a math game where a dude with a big nose jumped around. And there was like this fish game where you had to decide whether or not you were bigger than the other fish you were trying to eat. And if you were wrong, you got eaten instead of eating the fish. It's a silly little game, but I just remember having to load in the 5.25 inch floppies every time I wanted to play a game on that computer. Does anybody remember zip drives?
They lasted a short bit.
Yeah.
All they were was just larger floppies.
I hate.
And then they basically got replaced by rewritable CDs.
I hate the.
Which were way cheaper and could store more stuff. I think the standard zip drive could hold 100 megabytes of data, which was a lot compared to a standard floppy, but nothing compared to CDRWs and then later flash drives, which rendered them all pretty obsolete. I think my aunt had it. The only person who owned a zip drive reader was my aunt Penny, and she was very proud of it when she got it. She said, "This is the future." And I'm like, "Wow."
It was a stepping stone.
I don't even know if it was a stepping stone because it really didn't lead to the next big thing. It was kind of trying to take old tech and make it better as opposed to trying new avenues, and it just didn't pan out. It was kind of like somebody trying to sell a new version of VHS just before DVDs became a thing.
I hate the cold.
HD VHS. Yeah, CDRWs were still kind of useful to a very limited application. But yeah, I think they were basically useful for installing games that were meant to be uploaded from CDs. And there were some games that always looked for the D drive to run the game off of. Like early, Sierra games, like up to 96, and that was about when that died. But yeah, flash drives kind of killed CDRWs. Well, you had if you want to talk about CDRWs, you kind of have to include DVD RWs as well, and those went up to 2 later. And I think those could store up to 4.5 gigs, but I don't think it ever went further than that.
Cold. I hate the cold.
But a 4.5 gig DVD was still a lot cheaper than a lot of flash drives. Flash drives now are as cheap as can be. You can buy them for pennies. You can get like one. You get like a.
I hate the cold
for $20 now.
Micro Center has it at the front register. Just a big old bin of them, and you can just—it's literally just like, how many flash drives do you want? Sure, let's scoop them out in a little baggie, and they go and weigh it, and like, it just looks like those hardware things for nails. You just open up a drawer, and they just have flash drives in there. If you like last minute need a flash drive, they're super convenient. What I need or always get though is I get these like super bulky ones where I could like throw this off of a 10-story building and it would bounce. I could throw this underwater and it would survive because if I'm traveling, this is important. I don't want it to break.
The nice thing about USB too, just in general, is they keep upgrading USB to be faster and faster and faster. But you can take an early USB drive and it'll still work in like a USB 3 or... Do they have USB 4 now?
No, I wouldn't be surprised if the standard's being formulated or finished, but it's not implemented yet.
Yeah, well, what I'm getting at is USB has remained reverse compatible to its older versions throughout.
Well, because if you didn't, it wouldn't be universal.
Boom.
if they suddenly changed the whole thing, it would mean
wouldn't
all
be-
these devices would suddenly become obsolete, and you would have a proprietary type issue, which is basically when Apple's like, we're going to make our own cable. It does the same thing, but it doesn't work with that one. And that would be what it would feel like.
It would feel like buying an Apple product.
Yes.
Just the worst. Anybody with an iPhone.
Oh,
like,
just before iPhone came out today? Oh,
wow.
Okay. So
Info came out today.
USB-C, I think, because the micro was stupid. It was like, let's just make a USB that's smaller. But I don't even care about speeds. But
40 gigabytes per second is actually pretty good.
But I like USB-C because it's.
I mean, that's how I hooked up my internet because I couldn't put the new card in. So I got it hooked up through my USB 3 now, which has a transfer rate of
You've ever seen this before?
5 gigabytes per second. A 40 is incredible. That's a huge jump.
Yeah. Well, I think this is. There was the joke, but yeah, this is it.
Wrong, correct. That is how it goes.
Yes, because your first time you try, you don't really push too hard. Yeah. So you're like, oh, that doesn't work. So you flip it over, and it doesn't work. But at that point, there's only two options. So you push harder, and it legit, that one time doesn't work. So then you flip it over and realize you just didn't push hard enough the first time. So it always ends up being that way, where it's always a freaking superposition of USB sticks.
I like the cartoons where it shows somebody putting a USB stick in at the first try, and somebody just looking over at them freaked out like, they're a witch! They're a witch! Burn! You can't get that in the first try. No, if they're getting 40 gigabits per second, that's a huge jump from 3. Because I think 3 is 5.
I hate the cold.
Which is a huge step down from SATA. SATA is still the king. I'm a little surprised it hasn't replaced USB, but I don't think it's as versatile. But I feel like it could have been. The ambient FireWire.
I was gonna mention FireWire. FireWire wasn't bad actually. FireWire was superior to USB at a point, but it was just.
It was a brief point.
It usually stayed a step ahead of USB, but it in terms of speed, not much. But USB would come out with the speed, and then FireWire a while later would come out one that's faster, and then USB would come out with one faster. But it was keeping up, and it was always ahead of USB. But it just. I don't think it caught on to where something that's called universal and one that I don't know something about the marketing or it feels like the HD DVD and Bluray battle where you have two products that do kind of the same thing.
But everybody already had the one.
Yeah, but one of them just won out in the end.
It's I think Blu-ray lost just because everybody already had DVD players. So why bother when Blu-ray? Yeah, it offered a better picture, but only if you had a TV that had over 1080, and most people didn't. That's
a whole separate discussion. I'm saying it's like that.
Yeah.
Where the marketing between the two just ended up being where one went out over the other.
VHS went out over Betamax because of porn.
Laserdisc. Laserdisc. What's wrong with Laserdisc?
Nothing. It was a great format. It just was expensive as hell. And the rich people could afford it. And pretty much the only reason VHS went out over Betamax is because VHS was what all the porn was released on. And that's just the truth of it. Like, Betamax was a better quality, and so it was smaller than VHS, so a lot of people thought it went out, but couldn't get your porn on it. Well, A-Track, or I never heard of B-Track. I've heard of A-Tracks. B-Tracks is a foreign concept to me. What?
Remember the thing where you need glasses?
8-track. I don't know what an 8-track is either.
Yeah, you do.
What's an 8-track?
You know what an 8-track is?
I know what an 8-track is.
No, an 8-track.
Is that what it's called?
Guess how many tracks are on it?
8.
8, yeah.
I always called it an 8-track.
Do you know how they work?
I know they can't rewind them.
They're basically a music box.
Yeah, you can't rewind them. I know that.
You can. Well, no, you can play them.
Mm-hmm.
Beginning and end.
Yeah. And then
My dad actually has a box full of them. So
my grandmother has a player. It's part of a combination.
8-track.
I thought it was 8-track for the longest time. I'm sorry.
You just learned something new.
I did. I have learned things today. I do still own records and a record player, but I think music just sounds better on record.
My parents actually, when my great uncle died, he had a really nice condition record player, and they cleaned it up and restored it a little bit, so it's like a 1920s cassette or record player that still works. It's really, really nice too.
The nice thing about vinyl is it's the only format in analog
that's fine.
that doesn't degrade over
I
time.
hate the cold.
As long as you take care of it. Cassettes, if you bought a cassette 20 years ago and you put it in today, you're not going to hear music. What you're going to hear is a lot of
I
annoying
hate
noises.
the cold.
Because the magnetic tape degrades.
I hate the
And
cold.
after about 20 years, it's garbage. That's why anybody
I
who
hate the
collected
cold.
all their albums on cassette is regretting it today.
I hate the cold.
No, I mean, vinyl can degrade too if it's abused or just straight up. Vinyl is nice to listen to. I have vinyl records and I love listening to some Pink Floyd or some Blue Oyster Cult on vinyl. It's beautiful. It's a very warm sound, especially if you have the right setup, like an old tube amplifier receiver. No digital anywhere in the process, which is what I had set up back at my old house. But it's a pain in the ass. It just is. It's like you gotta get the record out, and if you're gonna take care of it, you have to first you get the record out, then you have to take a distilled water, and you have to put it on like a velvet cleaning pad, and then the record rotates. And then you have to like hold the pad gently to the record as it cleans all the dust out of the grooves. And then you can put the needle down and listen to a side. And when you've listened to that side, you have to then flip it, clean it, and then you can listen to the other side. And then before you put it away, you clean it, and then you make sure you put it back in the plastic or paper container. Then you have to put it inside the cardboard container.
Nobody's listening.
Scoop's listening.
He hasn't spoken in 5 minutes.
He's listening.
It's just you're listing things.
I'm
Nobody's
just saying,
paying attention.
Vinyl's a pain in the ass. It's nice.
Yeah, that's
to
all you
listen
need.
to, but just clicking a program file that says Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon. See,
Fred was always
nice.
listening.
Just clicking on the file is much easier than going through all that BS. Even if
He's listening to the music.
To the music. I see how it is blurred. Now, when I unpack all my stuff, I'm gonna pull out the record player and play a record. It's kind of nice to listen to. It's definitely, if you want to listen to music just for the sake of listening to music, it's definitely one of the better ways to do it. It's just a bit of a chore. Never forget.
What? is causing... Oh, I know what it is. This one. I must have put it too far forward. Kind of like that though.
His eyes all sunken in.
Well, because his eyes, I think, are supposed to be. They're supposed to be right here, but it leaves the eye like less visible. Kind of like pushed forward. I mean, not like this or anything.
Ooh, Beetlejuice moment.
It's supposed to be, I think, right here.
Yeah.
It's just that the rig messes with it. No. I'm gonna put it right there. Let's see what is that. Yeah, as long as I don't see the eye, that's all I care about. Just wish I could open the eye more, but I really can't.
I hate the cold. 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 I hate it. I hate the hate the
Why it won't let me turn off the trees? I turned them off, and then I turned them back on.
He's so grumpy.
It's like a grandpa that just saw the child step foot on his lawn.
I've told them kids. I'm tired of it.
Off my property.
I've had old man moments with kids in my yard. Because my concern is they're going to hurt themselves. That's like the primary concern of old people. I've been there. I've had my old people.
I hate the cold.
It's not that I don't want the kids in my yard because I'm a jerk. I don't want my kids in my yard.
Sure, it's not part of it.
Well, yeah, it's part of it. But you're right.
I hate the cold.
They get hurt, it could be on my head. Depends on how what their parents are like. If I got the kids of some people next door I know are just the type that want to just sue anybody for any reason, and that kid ends up getting their foot caught in a gopher hole and snaps their ankle, then I'm fucked.
Oh, that's when I hit undo.
Just the sad truth of it. The moral of that story is never own a yard. Just kidding. Taking care of yards is actually kind of awful. cut grass does smell nice.
I hate.
Oh yeah,
Hate.
I love that smell.
There's a certain amount of pride after you finish cutting your yard too. Just looking back and seeing it all done.
And then knowing I'll have to do it again.
I hate the cold. I hate
I had to do it for a long while. About a half acre on a hillside with a push mower.
I hate the cold.
Exhausting.
I hate the cold. Cold.
I remember my mother, when she was a kid, she had to mow like a solid
I
2
hate the
acres
cold.
of hillside with a push mower.
I hate
Growing
the
up when
cold.
she was a kid, and I don't know how she did it. But she said the second she moved out of the house, her dad got a riding lawnmower. Like this, she left him the next day. Ooh, riding lawnmower. It's like, oh,
I hate the cold. I hate the cold.
Child labor is cheaper than riding lawnmowers. So I guess that was my grandfather's logic.
Yep, I used to mow our lawn too.
Yeah.
Sometimes, kind of was. I do sometimes. My brother did. It wasn't always. But if anything, when I was young, sometimes it was fun because we didn't have a riding. Well, we had one, but I didn't get to use it for a long time. I did a push, but it was a self-propelled.
You had a riding lawnmower, but you weren't allowed to use it?
It was like 10.
Yeah, but I mean,
in a suburban neighborhood with fences.
a push mower is more dangerous than a riding lawnmower.
My brother decided to leave it in the 5th gear and pop the clutch when he wasn't on it, and it ran right into the van at top speed.
That's why you guys weren't allowed to use it.
It was like the company van too, but it was plastic sides, so it just went. And my dad just went over there, went bam, bam. It just left a small little streak, but he didn't care. Yeah. But yeah, so you know, if we were in like a backwoods neighborhood, maybe we were in a suburban neighborhood with a half acre and a fence. There's a lot of stuff. A riding lawnmower wasn't any faster. It's just lazy.
I hate the cold.
Yeah, but those riding lawnmowers, those push mowers are more dangerous than the riding ones because you're just walking out, hit some wet grass, or a dog went in the yard, and you slip on that. You could very well be under that mower pretty quick. I mean, I flipped the riding lawnmower twice at my parents' place when I was growing up. And you flip it, you're at least not under it. You're to the side of it, and it's over on its side. But yeah, I think the number one piece of advice I can give about mowing the lawn is don't do it when there's people out and around.
I hate the cold.
And if you got kids that are outside and neighbors are mowing the lawn, bring them in. Because I've had friends who've lost an eye to a piece of gravel, because that's all it takes. Is a lawnmower kicking up a piece of gravel and somebody's lost an eye. And it's the saddest thing in the world. Cause
That's the saddest thing in the world.
well, it's not the saddest thing in the world.
Isn't that the saddest thing?
There's a lot of sad things, but that's one of the sadder ones. Losing an eye to a freak accident that could have been prevented with just some general sense. Welcome back, Bird Blah.
I hate. I hate the. I hate the cold. I hate the cold. I hate the cold. I hate the cold. hate the cold.
I think we need
I
to
hate the
You just have an old man neck.
anger kicks in here.
cold.
Right? Yes. So when that kicks in, I need to offset that.
The cold.
That's why he's so good with Grumpy, I
cold.
think. So if you I can't have lid lower on this, because then it's just gonna look less
I
angry.
hate the cold. I hate the cold. I hate the cold. I hate. I hate the cold. 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 The cold.
Okay.
I hate the cold. I hate the cold.
This is the face of like stubbing your toe.
Ooh, you know, he stepped on that's a step on a Lego face.
And it's when you step on it and you know it's coming, the paint's coming, you're like, ah!
Somebody has to die today.
That's when it kicks in.
The appropriate stepping off Lego. Kids and their Legos. Legos are a good toy, though. I would never deny children Legos just because I might step on one. When I was growing up, my dad would
cold.
Legos if you stepped on. And then he would get angry. Yay.
We always do, because we just had two big bins, we put down a blanket, and we had to put all the Legos in a blanket. And then when we were done, we'd just take the corners of the blanket into one big pile and then dump it back in the bin.
Well, not innovative.
Yes, this technology of,
The blanket.
blankets.
Yes. Utilize for
But
Legos.
for hours and hours, hearing the trying to find that one piece. We had two bins, one for Technic, one for rest.
You know what was better than Legos? Tinker Toys.
He blows. Lincoln Logs.
Lincoln Logs.
I hate the cold. I hate the
Just quiet. This is my
I
Lincoln
forgot.
Logs.
Ton.
The only time I play with Lincoln Logs is at my grandmother's. She had Lincoln Logs for the kids to play with. She made them the oldest of oldest toys, and I just kind of thought to myself,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
did my great grandmother know Lincoln, and that's why she has his logs? I felt like she was old enough. She was pretty old. Not quite that old, but she saw through the Great Depression, that's for sure. First started my grandfather, and he's
cold.
I got to talk to my grandma before she passed away, and she was like 100 something.
Mm-hmm.
And we asked the question of, because when we were younger, we don't ask these questions, you don't think about it. But when you're older, you're like, so the Great Depression, because she was in her 30s or something in the Great Depression, because she's 100. No, she was in her 20s, and she goes, oh, yeah. It didn't matter. We were poor anyways. It didn't affect us at all. We didn't give a shit.
We were already
we were already poor, so it didn't change anything. And but she's like, yep, when we go to church and it would be cold out, we would take a rock and we put it on the fire until it got nice and warm, and then we'd put it in the wagon with us, and that was our heat.
It's a funny thing. I think about like the passage of time and how things that seem like they were so long ago really weren't.
Coal.
Like for me and you, the Second World War is something we saw on the History Channel. Or something that gets portrayed in video games because we never lived it.
But it was half as long ago as we were born.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. Like my grandfather remembers it. He signed up. He got turned down because he had flat feet, and
Well,
he's still alive and doing well.
That's like, it's when you think about like for like the Expanse books, they say 200 years in the future and like how we've spread out and we have Ganymede and all these like space stations and ever. And you think 200 years? How could you do that in 200 years? Did he think 200 years ago? And that was like 1850s. You know, it's like, or no, 1819 is 200 years ago. What was the infrastructure of the world in 1819?
Like, turn of the century, automobiles were first hitting streets.
1819?
Oh, 1819. I'm thinking 1890.
No, cars have only been around for half that time. So it's like, when you actually put that in perspective, you're like, yeah, actually, in 200 years, you could have stuff like that. It's just about getting the ball rolling. After you get it started and things start cascading, it's just going to be on its own.
Well, the Industrial Revolution was a huge turning point in man's history. And that was about the 1890s.
Coal.
No, things change fast, but I mean, I'm starting to see it now that I'm getting older. Like with 9/11, to me, that's a super sensitive event that happened within my lifetime. I don't remember it like it was yesterday, but I see younger people who were born in like 2000 who were infants or not even born yet. 2002. We're getting to be 18, 20 now. And to them, it's just a story. And it's just, they don't relate it to anything, and sometimes they even make fun, like it's a joke. And it's bizarre to see that.
Yes, it is.
Maybe that's far more bizarre. But I imagine that's the same way my grandfather feels sometimes when people joke about things that happened in his life, like the Second World War.
JFK assassination is when my dad says he remembers exactly where he was and everything.
Mm-hmm. But to you and me, it's just a story. It's just a thing that happened. It might as well be in a book of fiction. As far as our emotions can relate to it. No, yeah, no. It's I think the Second World War and what happened in the Second World War is very prevalent because people think about it like, oh, that could never happen again. And like, it wasn't that long ago. Like in the context of things, it was right around the corner. It just happened in the context of human history.
I hate the coal.
It can happen again.
I hate the coal.
I mean, let's not fool ourselves.
The coal.
That mentality is alive and well. I think when I was younger, I believed it couldn't happen again. That kind of mentality had been beaten out of the world. But I learned as I got older I was wrong.
The coal. Coal. Coal.
I don't know if evolve is the right word, but we're definitely not. I think we've made progress socially as a species, but I think we could step back at any second. And that we shouldn't kid ourselves.
Well, if you think that you can never improve,
yeah,
then you're lying to yourself.
Oh no, we can definitely improve, but we can't ever be complacent.
Coal.
Because for every step we move forward, there are people who are waiting for complacency so they can just move it back. People who like the way things used to be. And just looking for an opportunity to spread their ideology.
Coal. 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 Coal.
No, I
Coal.
think we've improved a lot as a species as far as things like that are concerned. It's just can't be complacent about it.
Coal. 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 I hate the coal.
Definitely 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
I hate
If
the
we're not
coal.
careful, it'll be 3 steps.
I
Right
hate
back
the
to where we
coal.
were.
I hate the coal. I hate the coal. I hate the coal. Coal.
Ooh.
Coal.
How about this grumpy dragon?
Coal. Coal.
Technically, it's a wyvern or whatever, because apparently that matters.
I think he's a bunny.
Coal.
He's a big teddy bunny.
I hate the coal. Coal.
It's very cold.
It kind of makes the brow down a little bit.
Coal. 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 The coal. I hate the coal. I hate the coal. I hate the coal.
I think this dragon.
I
did
hate the
something.
coal. I hate the coal.
I think he might be warm.
Okay, so I think that might work for him. Is it still within a good focal? Yep, it is.
So you finished the animation on him?
For the most part. I mean, there's not much.
Did you add the snowman yet?
That's not animation.
No, you just plop him down behind him or something. I think he needs a snowman.
I hate the coal.
I think the animation is basically done.
I hate the coal.
Can't really think of anything I can add to it.
I
It's not
hate
just
the
going to
coal.
be a lot for a little.
Do you want to build a snowman?
No.
You can put Elsa behind him. She's 3 so far.
Does it say breakfast, lunch, diner?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because it's a diner that serves breakfast and lunch.
What about dinner?
No.
Fuck your end. Wonder what is inside this shop. It's nothing.
You know, they never see ends anymore. I wish there were still ends. Like,
You're not gonna find one in like suburban Minnesota, but if you go to traveling and seeing places, yeah, you'll see
but
them
it's
all
all
over.
B&Bs now.
No, they still exist all over the place. Lodges, they still exist.
Like, I wish I could just go into a place that will serve me beer all, like during the evening, and then I could go lay down in the small room and then come out and get breakfast and dinner. That's part of the package.
Holiday Inn.
If you can't get dinner at a Holiday Inn, like that's part of the room pay too.
Maybe.
I mean,
Well, you're talking about basically you go and visit somebody's house that you don't know and they feed you.
it's what like a proper inn was. I guess it's bed and breakfasts.
Yeah, though they still exist. They're still, but it's those are all inclusive type things. But everybody wants cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, so they take away the luxuries. But if you want to pay the money and you go traveling somewhere, they have those.
I guess I'm kind of set in the mindset of this old game I used to play where you got an inn and he's like, we will serve you 2 meals a day, 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. Your room is upstairs. It's like they just take care of you.
It's like in video games where you're like, "Welcome to the inn. Your room's that way. It's the only room in the building.
Yeah.
What kind of service are you running?"
That's how those old like wooden fireplace burning inns were. They had like 3 rooms.
Or like in Final Fantasy VII, when every time you went to an inn, they had 4 beds and only 4 beds. How big is your party? They don't count.
I want to play one fantasy game where it's like, we have one bed. Fight. Just amazing. Or it's like that My Little Pony movie or special, or just that shitty ass room. Oh, but the owner was nice. She's all hello, hello, hello. So she can be forgiven to have a very crappy hotel.
Why?
Because she's cute.
Because she's boopable?
Yes. She is forgiven for being boopable. He needs more ice.
Yes, he does. But he needs more ice, but not in places that are going to cause any issues when moving, which is where the difficulty comes in. So like here, that's not angled, so I can't use this one there. I can probably use it on the end here, actually. Because I have to go grab the straight pick one.
I think it would be nice to live somewhere where you don't have to worry about anything.
Those are the expensive places to live.
Yeah.
Talking about weather and stuff?
No, I mean like, you just come home and they cook you dinner and you wake up in the morning and they cook you breakfast.
You know that you can like hire people to do that.
Eh.
But then how do you expect to get it?
Eh. Move back in with my mom.
It is an option. I'll do that. They're poking out there, but that's whatever.
Sad thing is, she'd take me back in a second. But she'd probably get really tired of me within like a month. She'd be like, yep, this was fun, now go away.
So how long are you planning on staying?
Exactly.
Forever.
She'd probably be fine with me for staying forever. My dad would probably get a little. Go away.
Yeah, that is the one I want.
I hate the cold.
Okay, so I feel like some of that's pretty balanced. So it's about adding, I think, a little bit to the legs and then getting some on his shoulders here. Okay. I should shrink it down too and get some little ones.
Baby icicles.
Well, some of those like are doing pretty good just by
Flipping.
yeah, because like it's just about putting white some places.
I mean, that
So
looks
like
good.
only thing I don't want to do is, since this is just supposed to be in places, like here it's not actually sticking down. I want to have it like this where they're not connected. Because if it's like this, it makes it a line. Well, this makes it look like it's multiple different separate models. So I can do it like that. And then it feels a little bit more separate. And this is right arm, shoulder, clavicle. I think I said shoulder. Oh, no, this is right. Left.
Had a really nasty storm last night. Had a tornado warning. And I was like, we should go into the basement. And he was like, nah, I'm willing to roll those dice. I'm playing a video game right now.
And nothing happened.
No, but what kind of situation am I in where the only time I get to say told you so is if we're dead?
See?
So, win-win. If I'm right, I get to say told you it was okay, and if you're right, we're dead, so you can't say shit.
No, I knew nothing would happen.
You didn't know. You assumed. And you were right. You were not dead.
I know, but like, how many people did you hear in the building like opening their doors and going downstairs?
I don't know. We didn't go outside.
Nobody. Go outside.
Outside in the hallway. I did see some people walking around outside in the storm when the tornado warning was blaring. They're like, "What is wrong with you people?"
Because this isn't Kentucky. I told you that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Tornadoes differentiate by state.
Yeah, they do.
Kill people.
No, it's by density of people. The storms lift when they come here, so anything that starts getting near it just dissipates.
Tornado warning went right across the Medicine Lake, man. It was close.
No, we're fine. Nothing happened.
You know, next time, I
Because
hope we get hit by
every time I talk to people that have been near a tornado, have said it sounds like a freight train coming.
Yeah.
Did you hear any of that?
I heard some pretty heavy winds.
No, it literally is like deafening within the indoors where you can barely, all you hear
But
is
at
the
that
rumble.
point, it's too late.
No, to run it around the corner?
They should have been in the basement, not in the corner.
What's the difference around the corner?
You mean around the corner in the basement? The basement's a basement. Around the corner is just your tub on the second floor.
A tornado's not going to destroy a building made of brick and mortar. Of that, there's no tornado of that magnitude that can build around here. The worst that I saw was one area up north, and that was way north of the cities, had a tornado go through, but it was a massive tornado that was outside of the norm. This wasn't. And all it did was it tore the sides off some houses. Anything that was this big stood fine. The worst that's going to happen is it picks up a car and throws it through the window. The tornado's never going to pick up a fucking car. And if it does, it's just going to roll over out here. No, it doesn't. We're not in an area that has anything to worry about with that type of thing. This is another situation of don't open your mouth and breathe, and you just decided to ignore me then, and there you are doing it again.
You know what's horrible about this situation? It's the only way I get to go, see, the tornado was enough to kill us, is if we're dead.
So
this is a lose-lose on my part.
Yeah, and we're alive. So and you could thank me for being alive. Because what if we went downstairs and got hit by a car?
Yeah. Down into the basement. Just get run over.
Brony's natural habitat.
Basements. That's why we'd be safe there. Hello.
Hello, Van. You didn't just all-star the chat, did you? I think you did.
I just see the word somebody and I just think that somebody to love.
No, he was doing Smash Mouth. He came into the server and that's why body is capitalized.
I like the Queen song better.
You're showing your age.
Queen's good.
It's a meme, and instead you go get a Queen reference that's called showing age.
I remember when Shrek came out. It was the first movie I ever pirated off the internet. It was the year 2000, and I had a 2 megabit a second service, and that was the fastest there was in the year 2000. And it was blazing. And it took all night to download that movie, but we did it. Thanks to an amazing program called LimeWire. And no many people are going to know what LimeWire was, but it was a thing.
I did Kazaa.
Yeah, we had Kazaa too. That was the two big ones, was LimeWire and Kazaa. Man, I remember Kazaa. I almost forgot about Kazaa.
I got in trouble at my high school because I was using Kazaa in high school.
In the school computers?
I worked at the school, so I had access, or I had my personal laptop there and everything, and I had Kazaa. Then they can trace it, so they found out that I was using it, and so I had to stop.
Imagine this young person's. I had a dial-up connection in my parents' place in the late 90s, and I could maybe, if I started a song, downloading one song, mind you, before I went to school, and came back 9 hours later, maybe, if my internet connection had a good day, it would be done by the time I got home. Maybe.
Oh yeah, there's plenty of that. That's why I use the school's internet, because I only had dial-up at home, and the school had much better internet.
Mm-hmm. And essentially, LimeWire gave your computer like horrible adware viruses and nonsense.
No, that was just torrents.
Yeah, well, torrents it too, but you accepted them for the for that one free song you could download every day. I mean, if you spent 2 weeks, you could get like a whole CD of stuff.
I used to, when I was visiting my brother, because he had much faster internet at his place, I would go and just download a bunch of movies anytime we were there. I'd bring my laptop, but I refuse to torrent anymore.
Torrenting is actually kind of in itself becoming obsolete because everything's kind of streamed now as far as video.
You can get it legitimately for cheap.
I think that one of the reasons torrenting, in some senses, did as well as it did, or was bigger, was it was free, but the customer service was better. Than like even today, a lot of streaming websites can't offer what torrents can. Like you can pay for Netflix, and once upon a time that actually meant something. But now that there's like 10 different streaming services, and Disney has their own. Universal, I think, is starting their own.
Disney doesn't have their own yet.
Yet? Okay. Well,
they're starting it soon. But you could also sign up for it up through yesterday for $4 a month for 2 years.
Yeah, but
which is pretty damn cheap considering the content.
If you end up getting that, and then you end up getting like Hulu and.
But if you're getting all those services, you have no life.
Well, you want to watch all the movies. At that point, it's just easier to rent what you want to see.
Yeah, so then don't.
So don't get any of them.
That's what I do. I don't have any of them.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
And I rent when I want to watch something. That's what I do.
But there is one service that has absolutely everything. Pirate Bay.
But if you, it's like if you like something, you have to have. They need money to keep making it. So all pirating means is I like your stuff. I'm not going to give you anything for it. Especially looking at it from my standpoint, I stopped using ad blocker on YouTube and I pay for the service because it feels like a dick move when I'm trying to make revenue from it and I was blocking it for others.
So even if you did pirate that one show, I wonder how they would have gotten money from you.
Because like right now, if you go watch my videos online, I bet you have ad blocker, right?
No.
You don't?
No.
On YouTube?
No. I watch ads.
You watch ads?
I watch ads.
I don't believe you.
I do.
So you pirate, but you keep ads on.
Sure. I'm willing to watch all the ads in the world as long as I get to watch what I want to watch.
Why don't you ad block?
Because that's how they make their money.
Your logic doesn't make any sense.
That's how those pirate websites make their money.
Pirate websites don't get nothing. That's all ad revenue.
If I ever go to Pirate Bay, it's just porn.
Well, yeah, because porn makes money.
Yeah, well, think if I blocked that porn. Those poor pirate websites could never make the money to keep going. I can't block all that porn. It'd be a shame and a crime.
And why would I block all the porn? Every now and then, I need me some porn.
I mean, it's not a lie. Porn sells. It's a hot take.
These are all sets of 5. I don't like this. I'm trying to break it up, but it's hard on an arm because it's already flat.
I'm gonna go start cooking. Bye, stream.
Oh, yeah, it's this stuff right. Do just a little something. Just right now, it doesn't feel random. It feels like 3 sections of ice. Let me see if no, it's skipping ads is not an issue. I think. It's, and again, I'm not going to blame anybody for using ad block. I used ad block for a long time because I don't want to watch ads. But the way that I made up for it was while if you pay like the $10 a month or something for YouTube Premium now, it's you get all the ads removed anyway, but the revenue still goes to the creators. So that was my way of doing it. I make some money on YouTube and I use some of that money to go back into there so that I can do that. So it helps me sleep at night, I guess you could say. But I'm sure there's a smaller one that wasn't. Try this. But I also like YouTube Premium because it comes with YouTube Music, and YouTube Music is actually pretty nifty because it's like Spotify, but I can listen to all the pony stuff too. So like I've been listening to Prince Whatever on there a lot lately. So it's you can. I just like that there's people that aren't just on that platform, or it's not just big name people. It's got some smaller name people on there too. Plus then playlists that I make or if I'm listening to Epic Music and I find something I really, really like, I can go on to and add it to my playlists on YouTube right away. I don't have to try to match it between platforms so that for stream it's all ready. I'm not liking anything at this. Because this is all at an angle then. But it's about balance. And right now this is too much. I can get it up here maybe. Again, it's just going to feel like a section, but I wonder if I go bigger, turn it so then only the left ones are in there. Those aren't really icicles though. So I'll make sure if I'm putting it in the arm that I'm not going to have it be sitting in the elbow. Kind of want something up there. So I like it like that, but then I have this floating there. I'm gonna see how it looks when I lock it. Arms there.
I hate the cold. The cold.
Okay, that actually doesn't work.
Cold.
Too
Cold.
bad. I don't like how it's. This kind of works how it's hanging from his arm, but it's only in like one layer there. I need to get more than one of that. No, I do feel that if you support a an animator or a channel or something, if you have ad block on, you are taking revenue from them. I don't mind it if people do it for a lot of my stuff, because vast majority of my stuff is monetized to other platforms or other people because of how the music thing works. But there are people out there that do need the money, or that's just their thing. Is YouTube is their platform, and so it just felt wrong to me. So, and also from my degree is in web development or a type of programming, and if you go to develop something, and then you're also going out there, or you're developing something that will potentially make you money, and then you're torrenting software that somebody else that was behind a computer helped develop and taking it, you're potentially, enough people do that and they don't make enough profit, then they have to do cutbacks, and then somebody like me is losing a job. So it just feels like I shouldn't do that. So that's why I like Adobe, I do the CC stuff, because then I can still get access to it. I don't think I grabbed the right one for that. I want shoulder. So yeah, that's just my take on it. Tell me to do work. Do work.
I
Okay, so it might feel.
hate the cold. I hate the cold.
I feel like it might be a bit too much over there. Let's take. I just want to shrink it down a bit. Actually, that's what I kind of did before. So let's put that one there. It's just a little one then. Yeah, that feels better. That feels good. This spot right here in his legs. This part I can understand, like probably his chest a little bit, but this is, if you have a body condensed like that, that's probably going to be your warmest area, so I probably don't need to worry about that. Oh, that's the super angled one. It's one of my favorite songs. It's so different. Sadly, he doesn't make this. I haven't heard him make songs like this in a while. This is Phil Lober. His more recent ones have been some, I don't know, didn't really fit my fancy, so haven't paid attention to him in a while. 'Cause that's not even going to show. But this is all at an angle. So if I do utilize it, I have to put them at an angle. Which could kind of cheat it a little. I wonder if I can get this to work as a snow on top type thing.
I hate the cold.
It's something there. That's the main thing I wanted to do. I don't think I'm going to be able... Oh, no. I could probably get a little bit here. I think that'll work. It's a little bit of something. And it's gonna tie to... No. I'll tie it to the... I don't think it's gonna work to the hand, but I think this is one of those awkward middle spots. Oh, that works. Okay, and then the legs. I think it might be just finishing up any of the visuals. This one needs an angled one. I think this one's angled. Yeah. This one's angled. Yes. Use the small ones to make this work. Actually, even that kind of worked. Like that, it still works. If only this wasn't here. Can I push it in a bit more? You know what? I think that'll work. I don't think it's going to matter. Toe. Nope. So this is going to lock to foot. Yep. good. Can I get away with doing something to kind of give it a snow look? Actually, wait. These are rounded on the top, right? I don't see this working, but I've said that a lot before, and it just takes giving it a shot to see if it actually works or not. I can see the vertices start popping up, so I'm still thinking it won't work. But the nice thing is, snow melts to a surface, so clipping isn't as much of an issue. Clips so well. That one little popping out bit is annoying. Let's say I'm going to hold off on locking these until I know. Just take the same model. Again, all that actually matters is this angle. So do that. Much smaller. Problem is, if this does end up being something I go with, I have to do it to a lot of the rest of the model, because it would be like, why does this part have snow but not the rest? It just creates too much of a too rounded at the end there. If I try to take advantage of the rest of it, I get that. If I flip it around. Not that bad. I just don't see this working in too many other situations. Oh, and I actually forgot his neck too. So that's left foot. Some of this might be toe, which gets even more complicated then.
I hate the cold. I hate the cold.
No, that actually works. So, that does work.
I hate the cold.
I like how some of this ice showed up now. Get it up there with the blend it in. Technically, it's just part of the other snow. These parts that are coming through are part kind of ruining it because it doesn't make any sense. Why is snow at that angle? I can understand like this, where it'd be snow kind of coming down the side there. No, with that kind of doesn't make it work either. I see a blurred bar. Yeah, I don't know, because if I keep that, that means I'll have to I wonder if just adding it like this in a couple spots instead of trying to cover the whole top. Even this seems kind of scattered. Just that angle of his foot is really tough to work with. Might just leave it as some hanging ones for there. Just add a couple more in there. See, like, yeah, that actually works pretty good about just having a couple, like, larger ones coming up over the edge. Okay with keeping that. Especially since with how he moves, you'd think that it implies he's been moving a bit. Kind of makes me want to put some on his shoulders too. And yeah, I gotta still do his neck, but I'm out of time here, so I'll have to do that in the next day or so. Just finish him up. But he's essentially done. It's just more ice.
I hate the cold. 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 Cold. I hate the cold. Cold. Oh.
This drops off too fast.
Oh.
Or actually should drop off earlier. Along with the voice.
Cold. The cold. Cold.
I wonder if it just stays up a little bit.
Cold.
So I just saw this and need to fix it.
Cold. I hate the cold. I hate the cold.
Anyway, so yeah, I'll finish up some of that later. What? All right. Blah. All right. I will stream Friday. I'll probably be back to the other video because I want to have this one done and out by Friday morning or something. So, or maybe even Thursday because Iceborne's out Friday, and so give it a day to warm up. So, anyway, whatever. Have a good week and stuff, and have cat. See y'all later. Bye-bye.